Alright, so this video is going to be a little bit more fun. Not as serious as the last couple of them. Not going to be as crazy. It's going to be actually a fun video. I'm telling you, it's going to be fun. So this video is talking about being vanilla in the gay community. So what's vanilla, Michael? Well, vanilla is basically someone who's not about. They're very ordinary and generic when it comes to a lot of things. Specifically, this conversation, we're going to talk about being vanilla and sexually vanilla. So people who like to have sex that's very reminiscent of what you will find in like most porn, most ordinary like generic porn that you would find. That type of sex. So all that stuff you see in there, that'll all be considered vanilla. So when you see somebody say I'm a freak and they just the only thing talk about the stuff that they see in like regular porn, they're not a freak. So just cross that all off. Okay, so me being vanilla in the gay community, I definitely feel like right now I do appreciate that people have a space to feel more sexually liberated than they ever had before. So a lot of people who have like different kinks they're into and stuff like that, they feel have a voice and be able to talk about it openly in public without feeling ashamed for liking this type of stuff. But when you're just a regular vanilla person, some of this stuff is just like mind blowing. Some of the stuff is just like, wow, okay, so you do that. All right, that's cool. Yeah. So a lot of times when people talk about like fetishes and kinks and stuff, I have zero to talk about. Like I'm just sitting there listening most of the time. I have nothing to contribute to a conversation about fetishes, really, unless I'm talking about like my previous video, talking about being a fetish. But other than that, like I have no connection to fetishes. Like I remember being when I was single years ago, I was trying to figure out, okay, Mike, maybe you do have a fetish, maybe you just don't know it yet. Maybe you have a kink and you just don't know it yet. You just don't know. You just don't know. So I was trying to figure it out. And even my therapist, I was trying to talk to her about it. And there was a couple of them that kind of like, I don't want to say interest me, but they definitely sparked something in my brain. So one of the ones was being a dom, I guess. Yeah, being a dom. So I have a few friends who are into like BDSM. Shout out to all of the BDSM people out there. So I was like, being a dom, does that satiate me sexually? And for the most part, it didn't. Like the only part of being a dom that I ever thought to actually that I ever thought to be of any interest to me is like, I guess telling people what to do and have like the power thing. But even that would probably like get boring after a while. Like telling people, okay, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to wear this, do as I say, and it's like. I mean, yeah, that sounds fun for this, not. But the part about that doesn't really fit into that spectrum is that there's no sexual part for me with that. Like, I have no sexual connection to being domineering or a dom or whatever. Like, I have none. Like, just nothing there. And I remember I would be, like, talking about this with other guys I would be interested in. Like, this one guy was just like, oh, well, maybe you tell me to wear a butt plug all day. I'm like, what does that do for me? Like, I don't care what you wear. He's like, yeah, it's like you're telling me to do it. And that's hot, right? I'm like, not really. I could care less. So in that point, I kind of felt like there would need to be something there in order for me to be interested in these different facts. That's like a really like common one. Like the BDSM community now, it's like it's very common now. It's not like under the trenches in the dark. Like, oh, we're in the dark. It's not that anymore. It's just not. Especially as that stupid movie 50 Shades of Grey came out and just like ruined it for everybody because like that's not even real BDSM. That movie. That's vanilla stuff. The stuff they did in that movie were very vanilla things they were doing. Like, oh, I'm gonna spank you. Ugh. Don't you like being spanked? Like, it was just really like cheesy stuff. Like, that's not even half of BDSM. So. Yeah, don't look at that movie. That movie's garbage for that. Unless you want to laugh, then watch 50 Shades of Grey. But other than that, don't watch it. So yeah, me going through the gay community. Gay community is definitely very pro kink, very pro fetish and all that good stuff. Which that's fine. It's just that navigating through that like type of arena when you're really vanilla and not really have too many kinks or fetishes is really tough, especially when it comes to dating because. I've had my fair share of guys who were into some really hardcore stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna work for me. Like, it's probably not. So, pause, okay? Safety word, pineapples, like all that stuff. Yeah, it just didn't work out. I actually dated a couple of guys. I'm gonna take this into another place, a somewhat funny place, but a place. Um, so for black gay men, especially who want to be a part of the BDSM community, unfortunately, BDSM community in within the gay spectrum isn't exactly welcoming of the black people, as some people already know. And if you don't know, then yes, they're not accepting of the blacks. So, what of course all black people do when we feel like we're singled out or excluded from something, we create our own. So there's a whole group called Onyx, which is for black and people of color who are into the BDSM, being into BDSM, leather and all this stuff. And I've met quite a few of the Onyx boys. Shout out to Onyx, because you guys still look great, even though I can't mess with y'all. Like, y'all into some real stuff that my sensibility is just not there with y'all. Y'all on next level stuff. So there's one guy that I was dating at the time. He was nice. We had a lot of stuff in common, and then things took a really dark turn when we were kissing, making out, and then he bit the shit out of my nipple. Like, it was like, oh my god, why are you doing this? And then his reaction and his response was, oh, your pain threshold is so low. We need to increase your pain threshold. I'm like, what? Like, increase my pain threshold? No. So, to say the least, that never went anywhere after that. Like, that was done. Full stop. And I've always felt like guys who were really, really into BDSM stuff, I felt like I would never be able to satisfy them sexually at all. Like, I just knew that just wouldn't be a thing I could do, and I knew that would become a problem because sex is still an issue. I mean, sex is definitely on the top 5 list of things that's important to a relationship. Like, who you can, I mean, unless you're asexual or aromantic or all other stuff, or you're just not really into sex, that's cool. But for most people, sex definitely plays a big part. So I knew that if I'm not able to satisfy them sexually, or we're sexually incompatible, this relationship probably wouldn't work out. Especially if they're into something that's really ingrained in their life. That's another thing. Like, the BDSM, at least the guys I met that were into BDSM, that whole lifestyle is definitely ingrained in their everyday life and their everyday ideology and how they look at things, how they view stuff, and how they operate. So I just knew that I wasn't be able to operate. Like, I felt like I would have to operate under that same type of like jurisdiction in order to make the relationship be successful. And I just knew that that wasn't going to be for me. But I am grateful for having the experiences that I have had, because it's helped me open my mind. Because there was at one point in my life where I was really like conservative, like, oh, you can't do that. Oh my god, what are you doing? Oh my god, why would you do that? Oh my god, you're into that? Ugh. Like, I was just so judgmental and just so disgusting. Like, I was just gross talking to me. Like, ugh. 23-year-old Michael was just a very different person to me being 30. 30-year-old Michael was very open-minded. Like, I'm like I allow people to be themselves. I allow people to do what they want. Especially if my 2 rules are, if it doesn't hurt you or people around you, go ahead and do it. So that's my thing. But yeah, being vanilla definitely is really hard in the gay community, because people are definitely into their kinks, and people definitely have a lot of them, and definitely a lot of people do have kinks. So I feel like being vanilla is almost like a minority, to be honest. Like, everybody has some type of kink to them. Or maybe I just haven't found mine. But I'm like exploring all that. Like, I did enough exploring in my early to mid 20s, and now I'm just like, I'm just not really in that place to want to explore anymore. I think I'm done exploring, trying to figure out some of the stuff. Or maybe it'll pop at me later. Like, who knows? Like, your life is never on like a fast track to the same thing. Like, it's ever changing, ever growing. So who knows? 4-year-old Michael might be all into BDSM, might like leather and whips and chains or whatever. So who knows? Like, we'll find out when we get there. But for right now, I'm really comfortable being vanilla, and I'm not judgmental of people who aren't. And I wish people would be more like accepting of both, because I feel like there's like 2 sides. There's the people who are vanilla, like, oh god, all these crazy people and they're kinks. Then there's the people who are into like kinks, like, oh, these normies, they like all this normal sex, yuck. I like to be hit in the face first, like stuff like that. Like, I hate the back and forth. Like, just let people live. Like, just let people live. Like, whatever goes on in their bedroom, let them do whatever they want to do in their bedroom. It gets them off and makes them happy. Like, let them do what they want to do. Like, don't try to project your own thing into other people's bedrooms. That's stupid. So yeah, that's my thing on, I guess, kinks and fetishes and BDSM and being vanilla and trying to figure it all out. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you got something out of this. Maybe you're vanilla like me, or you're just like bland ice cream, or maybe you like swirl ice cream, or maybe you're trying to figure out what flavor works for you. So yeah, it's always it's a journey. It's a lesson. So thanks for watching.